Rachel Zegler's Snow White live-action remake is no more popular than it was yesterday when, yes, it indeed did have more than 1 million dislikes. Now up to 1.2 million dislikes on the official YouTube trailer. And the Walt Disney Company has a hard decision to make at both Disney World and Disneyland. What do they do when fans can't stand this character? Will they hide Rachel Zegler's Snow White at the parks? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Pro Channel, where we are endeavoring, as always, to explain entertainment, keep you ahead of the culture curve, dragging the Hollyweirds back to the mainstream middle, the sensible center where money can be made. Folks, we know videos of excellence can be made when we have Lorena Creole with us. Lorena, welcome back to the channel.
Oh, well, thank you. It's always good to be back here.
Absolutely. Folks, as we dive in, consider clicking the like button, and a huge thank you to everybody out there helping make this channel be a rising star on YouTube, getting ready to cross 90,000 subs, and not even close to 2 years in the making. And folks, also, don't forget we have the 100th episode of the Pro Show coming out Tuesday. That's tomorrow at the time of this video's release at noon. We'd love to have you there for a big celebration. Disney is not celebrating, Lorena, because guess what? Over here on the Snow White official trailer, well, 4 weeks in, 1.2 million dislikes to 88,000 likes. It's more than a 10-to-1 ratio of dislike to like. 1.2 million, that puts it in historic territory. But that's not quite what Disney has to contend with right now, because now a separate department, not the studios, but the, well, Parks and Experiences division has a big decision to make. Here's what we've got out of that park place. I am the author of this one. Rachel Zegler's Snow White avoided at the Disney parks. Why Disney World and Disneyland are in a hard spot. It says usually when a big movie comes out, you can expect to see the characters from the film appearing in Disney World and Disneyland. There are times when those films are such poorly received losers that the characters are quickly shuffled off the lists. For those times, you might catch a glimpse of a rarely worn costume appearing at a special event. Most guests will just say, "Who is that?" And by the way, that's exactly what happened with the Strange World characters who were shuffled out of the parks as fast as they possibly could be. That stinker was belly up on the first day, and then they showed up. Some people decided to wear the costumes, officially Disney cast members in the costumes, during one of those Run Disney events. So it was the marathon, right? And maybe at mile marker 7, there was some character from Strange World that nobody knew on a long forgotten section of the highway. So there was a weird thing that happened, Lorena. And that is that when Disney had the Little Mermaid live-action remake come out last year, it was not a financial success. It was a flop. You and I talked about it ahead of time and said, you know, we really didn't like what was happening here because it was creating tension that was unnecessary, and it was of Disney's doing. The way that Disney handled that was they took the live-action Ariel, who you can see here in the in this Twitter post from Ashley Carter. It says, Ariel from Disney's live-action Little Mermaid is now making limited-time appearances at Disney World's or Disney Hollywood Studios. The meet and greet is located at Walt Disney World. They essentially, Lorena, took the actress or actresses who had been cast to play this character at the parks, and they hid them in the back corner of Walt Disney Presents, a museum at Hollywood Studios. This is out of WDW Info by Erica Resnick. And Lorena, you can see if we scroll down here, meet Ariel from the live action story, and you can see that you had this very short little walkway, and there's no wait time, there's no minutes, there's no hours, because this was kind of neglected. And I think, Lorena, is this still available? Do you know?
It is indeed still available. I believe I was in the studios, I want to say about 3 weeks ago, and it is still there.
Okay, Lorena, here's my fear about that. Have you been there? Because I don't think anybody's going to it.
No, there's hardly any traffic over there. Usually the only reason that people really go in there is to see the Walt Disney One Man's Dream, that exhibit, which is fabulous. But there isn't a line of people out the door or inside. I've never seen that for the live action Ariel.
Okay, so they took these actresses, and because it was a flop, they're not removing the meet and greet, which is what they would normally do. They're just basically hiding them in a dusty corner of a theme park, back where nobody goes.
Yes.
I think that's offensive. Like, I'm actually offended for these ladies, and I think it would be heartbreaking to be playing this character and to know that they've put you somewhere that nobody even knows you're there. Your thoughts on it, Lorena, before I show another Disney sin, and then we'll get to the Rachel Zegler stuff.
It is extremely upsetting, and it is offensive. I mean, you put this film out there, you changed it, change the ethnic representation of the character. Shouldn't you be proud of your work? Put her out there, out front, put her in, the princess meet and greet, like over at Magic Kingdom, like you do with the other ones. But interestingly enough, it's not just the Ariel character that they've done this with. They have brought out Asha from Wish over in Epcot.
Where is
hardly
she
ever really announced. If you it's outside of the Odyssey, I want to say right across from the port of entry gift shop.
Come on now.
Yeah.
So they've got okay, for those who don't know, Wish is one of the worst flops. It's up there with Strange World. It was supposed to be a 100th anniversary celebration of all the Disney movies. It just bombed. You're telling me that they took that character, and instead of just saying, you know what, this didn't work, we don't need you to perform anymore, they're putting her in the World Showcase, but she has no country because her country isn't real, and so she's at the port of entry, which is basically like a little souvenir stand.
Yeah, and they just kind of roll it out there, usually around the festival time, and there's no set schedule at all, and that's where they put her.
There. I did not know. Lorena, you sent this to me. This is more evidence of Disney just not having good sense. This is, I don't know any better way to describe this. This is black Ariel and white Ariel next to each other. That's how little kids are going to see it.
Yeah, that's how I saw it.
This is back to that same tension that we said, you don't have to do this. This is even dumber because on the box, take a look, folks, if you can see this. On the bottom left of the box for the live action version of Ariel, there is that ugly, ugly crab. The one that sings the horrible song, Squawk with, anyway, you remember it. So
yeah,
he's down there. But if the kids want the traditional Ariel, they get a cute little flounder and they get all these cute little figurines that go with it. Like they're setting up the live action character to fail even after the movie failed. What are they doing?
I think they are just they will not admit when they're wrong. Disney has a big problem of admitting when things aren't going so well. They tend to be in denial, and I was shocked to walk in and see this, because immediately my mind's like, okay, wait, they've got white Ariel, they got black Ariel. Do they have like cartoon Ariel and live action Ariel? No, there is no distinction that is made between these two dolls. And again, you're going to have kids asking questions, why this isn't like it's Barbie, and it isn't like it's the I'm forgetting the name of the dolls that they had, but they had dolls of all different ethnicities dressed up in like Disney gear. So that was kind of cute. That really wasn't a problem. Like, oh, okay. It's not like this is Barbie where there's Barbie and then there's all sorts of incarnations of Barbie. Everyone understands that Barbie's like a multiverse now. So kids understand that. But with Ariel here, it's like, is it black Ariel? Is it white Ariel? And it really proves for some conversations that shouldn't even really have to happen.
Well, this is weird in the same way that if I came upon a stand and you had different Mulans of different ethnicities, like I would say, it's Mulan. What are you talking about? There's different ethnicities of Mulan. Anyway, let's go back to the Rachel Zegler problem though, because this is we've run through, I think, what happened to Disney. This is now what will happen to Disney. Continuing on in the article, Rachel Zegler's upcoming live-action remake of the beloved original Disney animated classic is fraught with controversy. The film's trailer has amassed a historic 1 million dislikes. We showed that to you folks. Let's go down now to what they now face. Should Disney World and Disneyland elect to have the Rachel Zegler version of the character appear they're almost certainly beholden to have Hispanic and or Latina actresses play the role. Not doing so could capture the attention of news articles and could put the company in a bad light. Yet having Hispanic and or Latina actresses standing in rooms with nobody wanting to meet the new Snow White is another horrible look for the company. I believe it's pronounced horrible. And it certainly wouldn't be the fault of the actress. Yet if Disney decides not to begin casting and training said actresses, what if the movie actually succeeds? Then they're empty of any cross-promotion of the most powerful revenue drivers. Disney could also decide to put forth traditional Snow White appearances with the original cartoon look. The problem there is that Snow White might be accused of being a whitewashed effort at the parks. There's almost no conceivable win here, and that is why Disney World and Disneyland may ultimately just take the proverbial football knee. And by that, Lorena, I mean that they may just avoid this altogether and say, no comment. We have Snow White in the parks. People are able to see Snow White. There's Snow White merchandise. No comment on any of the rest of the stuff. And just not do this. When you have 1 million dislikes on the trailer, surely somebody at the parks is feeling squeamish about the idea of doing round 2 of this, but it could be worse. So, Lorena, what do you think they're going to do with this?
That is
stumped you. I have finally. I have never stumped Lorena Creel before. Let this be a video in history. Lorena is the highest. Well, I don't want to say that. I don't want to offend Lauren. Lorena is one of the highest IQ individuals to come on, and I have finally stumped you because this is an unsolvable problem.
It really is. Because I look at it like this. It's like when I go into the parks, I know what Snow White is supposed to look like. When I go to Cinderella's, right? Which one?
She's supposed to look like Farquaad, right?
Oh God, no.
Or do I have the wrong Snow White? Oh, I'm sorry, that's the Zegler version.
Yes, that's the Zegler version. I mean, I'm expecting, Snow White that I've seen in the cartoons. I'm expecting to see, her face character in Cinderella's Royal Table. I expect to see her, in the Germany pavilion where she is. So it's like if they bring this live action version, yet more confusion. And I would not put it above Disney to try and do that.
All right, you ready for an even more absurd thing that could happen here? Try this on. I don't have this in the article, Lorena, but as we've been talking, it came to mind. Zegler has come out and made very abrasive comments in terms of geopolitical situations in the world. Folks, if you want to go look it up, you can, regarding the Middle East. If they don't put the Rachel Zegler version of Snow White in the parks, then some might say that the parks are doing so because they favor one side of that geopolitical conflict over the other. Or what if they do put her in, but they refuse to put in the Gal Gadot version of the Evil Queen? This is all kinds of horrible for Disney, and it is all their own doing. They did this to themselves. Good grief. Lorena, where would they even put this Snow White? Like, where do you put this Snow White in the parks so this Snow White doesn't butt up against the other Snow White and break the illusion? Like, where does she even go? I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know where they're going to shove her? They're going to put her in the studios.
What if she kicks out the Halle Bailey version of Little Mermaid? What a horrible look.
That's probably what they're going to wind up doing. I mean, Animal Kingdom, you really don't have princess meets and greets over there unless you're Pocahontas, I think, or something like that.
Lorraine, I got an answer. They can put the Little Mermaid meet and greet in the extended queue area of the Muppets where nobody goes. Literally nobody goes there. They can put her there, and they'll shove Rachel Zegler's Snow White in the farthest recesses of One Man's Dream. Maybe back all the way in the restrooms behind what is now the Rodeo Roundup barbecue. Maybe that's where she'll go. The back area of that.
Yeah, the back area, so they can kind of, don't remind people that, yes, they actually made the bass actors decision to make a live action Snow White. Again, I'm thinking of all the kids, who go to Magic Kingdom. They're expecting they're going to meet, Snow White in the park, not only in the park, but in Cinderella's Royal Table and Cinderella meet and greet. and also see her over in the pavilion in Germany. I mean, if they bring in the live action version of, of Snow White, not for nothing, but where are they going to put her? The Mexico pavilion? Unless
She
they
said
make
it,
a
not me,
special
folks.
pavilion for her. I mean, I
Take that, Kocho. You didn't get to go into the Mexican pavilion, but we'll put the new version of Snow White right there in Saludos Amigos. They're the Grand Fiesta Tour. But Lorena, I realized as we were talking, we need to point this out before we go. Folks, if you're wondering how far back there that is, because you might have looked at this article we showed earlier and said, well, look, she's got a marquee and all that. No. This is a museum. You have to go through the museum before you ever get to the place where you can even go find this meet and greet. Like, it is in the back cubby behind a museum. And that marquee is telling you that after you go through the entire museum, you can take a left before you get into a theater, and back in a corner, you'll find this character. So there you go. And guess what, Lorena? If they put Snow White there, the new live action, we've seen the trailer. We know how well it was received. Maybe she can have the guests, she can force them to clean the area around her, because that would be in character.
You're not sweeping good enough. You're not doing it right.
Get on it. Lorena, somebody who is on it all the time, of course, is you. And I know you're gearing up for coverage of Epic Universe, which is looking more and more epic every day. But while it is underway and under construction, you're also covering the Disney parks, everything else. Some out there, well, we call them cupcakers, pixie dusters. They only say the positives. But you're helping folks out there find the good in every vacation and stay away from the things that will ruin their vacations. Can you tell the folks out there a little bit about your content and where they can find you on this great, big, beautiful web?
Well, you can find me on X. You can find me on Instagram. And of course, you can find me on YouTube, where I do various videos and live streams about sci-fi and pop culture analysis, but also about theme parks. And when it comes to theme parks, I like to keep it real, which means I'm not trying to sugarcoat things. I'm not trying to bribe you with pixie dusted cupcakes. What I am trying to do is give you unbiased information so you can take that information and use it to have the best vacation experience possible.
Absolutely. You do a fantastic job, Lorena. And folks, if you're not yet subscribed to Lorena Creole, well, what are you doing? Get on it, folks. We also want to thank so many of you out there for choosing to be subscribed to this channel. It is an honor, as always, an attitude of gratitude every single time you elect to spend your time with us. We know it's valuable, and we attempt to add value to your every single day. Folks on the way out the door, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on all of this, and what do you think Disney should do in this very untenable position. And folks, make sure to dive into thatparkplace.com every single day, but specifically this article, because, well, there's far more we were unable to cover in the brief time we had with you. We have more news coming, folks. We can't even cover it all, hardly, but 3 videos a day, because thrice is nice right here, and they are on the way to you. Until the next time we meet, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Listen up, my brothers and sisters. You've been listening to Phils and those with an agenda to destroy your brain cells for far too long. It's time to change your way of doing things. Hold up. TPP is the place to be. Covering the news so honestly. It's a team that's cool and tried and true. Ahead of the culture curve, they're trying to keep you. Jonas and Pro, they run the show, and they dragged in the bearded culture casino. You got Valiant and Lord and Fourth of Light. Wonderful people, yeah, they're alright. They got weird bringing in people like Floral, but made no mistake with Lorena Creole. Amelia and John, stuttering guitarist. Martin and Tawny and someone called CMS. Fat Steven makes a bunch of all the graphics. Did I mention a partnership with Bending in the comics? Fat Sky is a guy, and Doc Matt does the web stuff. There's probably some people I missed. I hope they're not telling you the news that should be fun. With accurate info that's not been spun, you can figure it out as you will see. The TPP is the place to be.
Yeah, Wilton. That was actually pretty good. Or white. But I think you might have forgotten Vash.
Well, he lost all his friends. But it was implied.